Wyoming Territory, 1872. The wind carried whispers across the barren land, dragging dust in its wake. Eliza Monroe pulled her worn shawl tighter around her shoulders as she stepped off the train at Cheyenne Station. Her brown skin stood in stark contrast to the pale faces around her, and eyes darted in her direction, some curious, others hostile. Eliza had grown used to the stares. She had spent her childhood enslaved in Georgia and her young adulthood as a nursemaid in Boston. But the West promised something different. Freedom, if not from racism, then from the cages of the past. She came seeking peace, and perhaps a plot of land to call her own. But Cheyenne had its own secrets. She found work quickly at a boarding house owned by a stout, no-nonsense widow named Miss Corrigan, who eyed Eliza with suspicion but valued her cooking. Most nights Eliza kept to herself, sweeping floors and humming the old hymns her mother used to sing. Then one evening, he walked in. Jack Callahan. He was tall, lean, with sun-bleached blonde hair and stormy blue eyes. A bounty hunter by trade, Jack wore his scars like medals. Eliza noticed his limp first, then the way he studied the room, calculating, alert. He nodded at her, and she nodded back. That should have been the end of it, but fate had other plans. 3 weeks later, Eliza was walking to the general store when a gunshot rang out. Screams erupted. A man, native from the looks of him, stumbled into the dirt road, bleeding. Jack sprinted from the saloon, revolver drawn, just as another shot split the air. Eliza ducked, her heart pounding. Jack fired once, twice. Then silence. When Eliza dared to rise, Jack stood over a body, smoking pistol in hand. The townsfolk cheered, but Eliza's eyes were on the dying man in the street. She ran to him, ignoring shouts. His lips moved, but only one word escaped before he passed. Redbird. That night, Eliza couldn't sleep. The man's final word haunted her. Redbird. She had heard the name once, whispered by the older black folk who migrated west. A ghost, they said. A woman, a killer of white men. Some called her a freedom fighter, others a savage. Jack sat alone in the parlor drinking. She approached him cautiously. That man today, he wasn't trying to shoot anyone, he was running. Jack looked up. He killed a rancher's son, had to be stopped. What if he didn't do it? Jack's gaze hardened. You defending him? I'm asking questions. He studied her for a long moment. You're not like the others, are you? I don't have the luxury to be. And that was the beginning. The bond between them grew, slow, cautious. Jack began to bring her books, old dime novels and medical journals. Eliza cooked meals just for him. They started walking together at dusk. Whispers followed them. Ugly, dangerous whispers, but they walked anyway. Then one evening, Jack disappeared. 2 days passed, then 3. Eliza asked around, but no one spoke. Miss Corrigan warned her to mind her place. On the 4th day, a note slipped under her door. Come to the old mine at sundown. Don't tell anyone. J. Heart pounding, she rode out alone. What she found chilled her to the bone. Jack was chained in a mine shaft, bloodied and beaten. A group of men surrounded him. 3 she recognized from town, including the sheriff. I warned him, the sheriff sneered. Sleeping with an Eliza fired the pistol she'd hidden in her coat, grazing the sheriff's leg. The others ducked. She used the moment to grab a pickaxe and smash Jack's chains. Together, they ran. They hid in the hills that night. Jack's breathing was ragged, his face swollen. Eliza cleaned his wounds silently. Why? She asked. Because I couldn't stay quiet anymore. That man they shot, he was innocent. The real killer, it's Redbird. And she's not a savage. She's my sister. The truth unraveled like a nightmare. Redbird, real name Clara Callahan, was Jack's half-sister. Their father, a fur trapper, had married a Lakota woman after leaving Jack's mother. When white settlers burned her village, Clara vowed revenge. She began targeting the men responsible, men in power. But they blamed the deaths on renegades and executed scapegoats. Jack had returned west to find her, not to kill her. but to save her. "They'll hang her if they catch her," he said, "or worse." Eliza hesitated. "And what do you want me to do?" "Help me find her before they do." They left at dawn. Over the next week they followed rumors and trails, staying ahead of bounty hunters and hiding from patrols. Eliza began to see Jack in a new light, not just a gunman, but a man torn between two worlds. She saw herself in him. They found Clara hiding in a cave by the river, a bow slung across her back, eyes sharp as a hawk's. She did not trust Eliza at first. "You think I need saving?" Clara hissed. "No," Eliza replied, "but I think you need a plan." It was Eliza who proposed it. "There's a federal marshal arriving in Cheyenne in 3 days. If we bring him proof of the corruption, the rancher's ledger, the names of the men Clara was targeting, he might grant her a pardon." Jack was skeptical. Clara laughed. "No white man's gonna save me." "No," Eliza said, "but we will." They returned to Cheyenne under cover of night. Eliza posed as a laundress and slipped into the rancher's house. She found the ledger, proof of bribes, land theft, and secret meetings with known killers. But she was caught before she could escape. Tied to a chair in the barn, she stared down the sheriff. "You think people will believe you?" he spat. "No," Eliza smiled, "but they'll believe this." She nodded toward the door. Clara stepped in, bow drawn. "I believe it," she said, and let the arrow fly. The chaos that followed was legend. By dawn, the sheriff and his men were dead. The marshal arrived just hours later to a town turned inside out. With Jack's testimony and the ledger, Clara was granted immunity under the promise she'd leave Wyoming for good. She vanished into the mountains that very night. Eliza and Jack stood at the edge of the town, watching the sun rise. "You could come with me," he said softly. "Back east, or maybe California." Eliza looked toward the horizon. "And what would I be there?" "Whatever you want." She studied him, this broken, dangerous, beautiful man. "I'll come," she said, "but only if we build something. A school, a place for women like me, like Clara." He nodded. "Then we'll build it." Years later, they called it Redbird's Rest, a sanctuary for the lost, the hunted, and the forgotten. Eliza taught reading and medicine. Jack worked the land, and every spring a single feather would appear at the gate, crimson as blood. A whisper in the dust. Redbird lives. Please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you.